This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour sponsored by Bettor. Bettor Picks, the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Bettor or visit bettor.app now. Sign up today, get free money. No deposit necessary. BETR. Join Bettor now.
This is like an early Christmas present. An absolute treat as professional sports bettor Brad Powers joins the program now and is going to be on for the next half an hour. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow him on X at BradPower7, website, BradPowersports.com. Hey, Brad, good to talk to you again. How are you?
Thanks for having me, guys. A long time no talk.
Yep. Okay, so let's begin here. You have been on Twitter suggesting that you have multiple bets on Notre Dame to miss the playoffs. When did you start to bet this and why? Okay, I think we have a bad connection here with Brad. And we'll reconnect.
Come on.
I think he's not in South America like Chernoff the other day.
I know.
So I think it's going to be okay unless there's a snowstorm somewhere.
Well, let me just say this. He was on this early. Mm-hmm. He was the first guy to be on it along with Felica. But it continues to plummet. Notre Dame, no, is now plus 280. Miami, yes, is 4-1. It's the lowest we've been, and this Notre Dame was crazy when Brad was taken, I believe, 9, 10, and 11-1. This is wild. Plus 280 now on the no.
Yeah, and that was 9 or 10-1 last Saturday, I'm going to say early evening. It was a little bit before their game started against Stanford.
Yeah.
And now we have Brad back. Sorry about that, Brad. But I don't know if you heard the question or not, but if you can explain to the audience here when you first started betting Notre Dame to miss the playoffs and why you decided to make that call. No, Brad. Okay. So we'll try the phone here, I think. And by the way, again, as a reminder, I brought this up the other day. A lot of people are like trying to dance all over him on X, saying, got this one right. Brad's wrong.
Yeah.
And he keeps replying, bookmarked.
Yeah.
Bookmarked.
This is good. This is getting juicy.
Going to come back to this.
Yes.
When they miss.
Yep. I can't wait for this. This is going to be, now you need the BYU loss. That's number one.
Well, yeah. First,
now, how about
foremost.
this? And he has been killing it on social media the last couple of weeks. His Nebraska tweet got 1 million views on Matt Rule ripping his recruiting. The Kiffin thing with what Saban said as well, going after Herb Street. He brought this up as well. He went down, what if Alabama gets blown out? The no is 9-1 on Alabama. That Florida State loss is terrible.
That's really bad. Can a team that makes the SEC title game already in the playoffs miss because of a loss? I don't know if they'll do that. What if Georgia pulls an Ohio State against Wisconsin from 2014?
Yeah.
It's absolutely bloody, and it's, a complete blowout, and it's, if Alabama gets shut out, for example.
Oh, God, that'd be something.
Could they leave them out?
Yeah. Even if they get blown out, but that's a good one. 9-1. That's also not getting talked about enough.
Okay, I think we have reconnected with Brad now. Go ahead, Brad. Take it away about Notre Dame.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I do was out in the wood. I got to get Starlink or something out here. But I actually started betting it a couple weeks ago, and I started betting it about the time I tweeted it. I was shocked to see Notre Dame was like the yes to make the playoffs was like minus 3,500. So at that point, the no was like 15-1 ish. So I started just some smaller bets then, and then as the dominoes started falling on Saturday. Then I just started re-upping some bets because obviously Notre Dame, I thought to be perfectly safe, they needed like Alabama to possibly lose to Auburn, Oregon to Washington, and Oklahoma and LSU, but none of that stuff was happening. And at that point, I thought, well, I mean, this is starting to come down to be a real possibility that they could be out. So I was trying different ways to do it because I would get limited on a certain bet. Yeah, no on Notre Dame, yes on Miami. Then I was parlaying it. They stopped allowing me to bet it on Sunday at all the books that I was trying to bet it at. But it won't be my biggest bet of the year, but it'll be my biggest decision of the year.
How do you feel now? Because if BYU loses and they're sitting there side by side, you think if you got all these ex-coaches in the room, you would think they would have to look at head-to-head and they've got to win out and carry the day, right?
I think it sets up pretty well for them to be out. Number one, if BYU pulls the shocker and wins, Notre Dame's out. And if BYU loses, then, of course, and I think BYU is going to lose big. So, I mean, they're just not going to keep BYU at that spot there. I think they're going to drop them a couple spots. And then you have like you said, for the first time this year, they're going to be side by side, no teams in between the two. And I think for the first time, now, whether it's right or wrong, for the first time, they'll say head-to-head matters and they'll bump Miami. I think it'll be terrible TV, but it is a TV show, folks. So I guess they'll bump Notre Dame out.
Would you still recommend a bet at the current price? Miami 4-1 to make, Notre Dame plus 280 to miss.
I'd be more interested in the Notre Dame side because, again, BYU, if they win, Miami has no pathway, really, so BYU to win. So I would, I think it's worth a pizza bet now at the current price.
If you're on the committee and Alabama gets blown out, would you drop them out completely? They're 9-1 to miss.
I mean, if I was on the committee, hell yeah, I would. I mean, they'd still be on shaky ground as it is today. I mean, a lot of those SEC schools, I know it's kind of sacrilegious to say that, but I mean, it's just the fact of the matter. If they lost by 3 touchdowns, they would definitely not be in my bracket. But we all know that they're not going to leave out the Crimson Tide after, keeping them out last year.
Yeah, I'm wondering, though, like, what if it's like 38-3 and it's a blowout the entire time? Any consideration to that, you think, from the committee? Or are they going to say, nope, sorry, can't keep a team out that made the SEC title game?
It should, but I don't. I mean, the committee, I don't know, because the committee seems to change their rules there are no rules. They just do whatever they feel like for that particular week. So what we need is to honestly have a system, a la like a BCS type of system. And that way, I mean, we don't have any of this.
So you mentioned like the group of the SEC teams. My guess is you would also not have Oklahoma in at this point?
Well, I mean, here's what I would say. I think Miami and Notre Dame are better than Oklahoma and Alabama. And I know Miami and Notre Dame didn't play as tough as schedules, but I mean, look, I watch as much football as anybody, and not that I'm some expert, but I just, there's some major deficiencies on Alabama and Oklahoma that I just don't see on Notre Dame and Miami. Oklahoma's offense, Alabama's inability to run the football. Mm-hmm. I would rather see Notre Dame and Miami in there than this isn't Nick Saban's Alabama. I mean, it isn't the SEC the last 10, 15 years. I think the last couple of years have proven that. The fact that, forget winning a national title, we haven't even seen an SEC team play for a national title the last couple of years.
What do you make of the situation moving forward at Ole Miss and how Kiffin handled the last 10 days?
Well, horribly, but not shockingly, considering Lane Kiffin's past. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen this before out of him, so pretty expected that he handled it like a child, even though he's 50 now. I just, you feel a little bit for Ole Miss, but then again, I mean, that's the guy you hired. I mean, what would you expect? But it looks like they're going to have enough to have, a little bit more than a skeleton crew as far as a staff for the playoffs. So I'm not going to ding Ole Miss too much, but I'll certainly, drop them down a point or so in the power rating.
Do I have this right? He looked at Herb Street and saw all the love and what was going on with Herb Street with the dog, and then kind of said, hey, this is my dog Juice, and I'll bring him to the games, and that wasn't even his dog?
Yeah, that's what kind of happened. I don't know if it was directly, I'm connecting dots when it came to Herb Street, but it was around the time after Herb Street started introducing his dog, the one that, the one prior to this one, yes, before he passed away. And then, he started doing that, I guess, to make him more likable. And it's not even his dog. It's, it stays at the shelter. There's a handler. So pretty pathetic, narcissistic behavior as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
so let's say that they do get Virginia in the first round of the playoff. What would you make that number?
I would have Ole Miss like 17-ish. So, I mean, we're talking a pretty sizable number for a playoff game, even with an Ole Miss team that has a lot of deficiencies.
Okay, so let's assume then they win that game. The current path would have them play Georgia then in the quarterfinals. They were incredible on their, first 5 drives against the Bulldogs when they played in the regular season. Would you put any stock into that regular season game if they played again?
A little, you have to, because, I mean, it is a data point and the most important one, but, Georgia did make adjustments in the fourth quarter in that game and really shut them down when it mattered most. So, without Lane Kiffin there, I mean, let's be honest. I know Charlie Weiss Jr. is the OC and he's going to call the plays, but he's not, the final decision maker on that side of the ball like Lane was for the last 6 years. So that would be an issue as far as I'm concerned when it came to that. And, obviously Georgia would be favored by 6 points or so.
Okay. Brad's going to hang out for one more segment. We'll get into the games this weekend coming up then. In the final minute or so here, Brad, of this segment, do you think there's a bet to be made right now in the Heisman Trophy market?
No, I would not. I think that any sort of value has been kind of stripped out of it right now. I personally would say there's value on saying, but I'm not voting on it. It's the committee members and Heisman voters, and it doesn't look like that they're too fond of Julian Sang.
I would say that if we get a low-scoring Big Ten title game, I think Pauly is going to win this thing.
Odds reflect that. With him getting that move there on what was that Monday morning, I think if Indiana just wins, Mendoza's going to win it. He didn't even play that well, but if we get like a 20-14 or something like that, Ohio State win, then Pavio is your Heisman winner.
All right, very cool. Professional sports bettor Brad Power is going to hang out for one more segment. We will get into the games tomorrow night and on Saturday. We'll ask him if he was part of the move on Indiana this week, catching like 5.5, 6 points against Ohio State. That's next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue here with professional sports bettor Brad Powers. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow him on X at BradPower7. Website is BradPowersports.com. So at most spots, the Big Ten title game opened up Ohio State 6 against Indiana. Several books still showing 4 now in this game. Others bumped it back up to 4.5. Were you a part of that move? And is there maybe a bet to be made right now?
I was not a part of that move. I mean, it did seem a little rich on the Buckeyes, according to my power ratings, but I wasn't running the window to bet Indiana for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I think Ohio State's been load managing, so to speak, this year. Well, how do I think that? Well, they do run the slowest tempo in all of college football. Why would you run the slowest tempo if you're the superior team? More plays, more chances, more opportunities to show your superiority, but they faced the fewest plays of any team in the country on defense. So I think there's an extra gear that they got that I don't think Indiana does have. I go back to last year's matchup, and I know Indiana's better this year than what they were a year ago, but they were totally outclassed in that game. I think Ohio State's nearing, that realm of possibility where they could be better this year. I certainly think they're more consistent on a week-to-week basis, especially in the passing game on offense. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I think Patricia's an upgrade over Jim Knowles on the defense side of the ball as a coordinator and a play caller. So I understand a little bit of the Indiana money. If we're just talking pure power rating, I understand maybe the sentiment, it doesn't mean much to Ohio State. I think it means a hell of a lot to Ohio State. This is a program that hasn't won a Big Ten championship in 5 years. That's like saying, Indiana hasn't won one for 50. So I think I don't know if you get an A-plus effort out of Ohio State, but I don't know if you need an A-plus effort to cover a measly 4 points. We're talking about a team that's won 16 straight, none of them by less than a touchdown. They've covered 14 of those 16 games. For some reason, you're not paying a premium if you want to bet on Ohio State, since that Michigan loss last year. So I'm laying it with the Buckeyes. That's my best bet.
All right. Excellent. The other night game they just played, Virginia beat Duke. Virginia's up to 4.
I am a part of that. I did bet for Virginia. I'd still lean that way, even though it crossed through 3. But, that was dominant. The one by 17 could have been by more. They outgained Duke by nearly 300 yards, and that was on the road. And I think they're the fresher team. They had a bye after that game, and then they beat up Virginia Tech, their rival. Duke last week won and covered, but got outgained by nearly 100 yards. It was all turnovers against Wake. Duke shouldn't be in this game. It's ridiculous that they are. I think Virginia exposes them. Virginia punches their ticket to the playoffs. I do want to say one thing. I mentioned that Ole Miss Virginia line be 17. I like my ratings to be 14. I know people jump all over me if I'm wrong on that.
Oh, fair enough.
No problem.
By the way, any angle here whatsoever, if Duke wins this game where the committee would do something stupid to put them in the playoff?
I don't see it, especially if James Madison is pretty dominant over Troy, and they're expected to be that way. You're getting 2 G5 teams in the playoffs. Ridiculous. I mean, I'm all for giving people opportunities, but come on, at the expense of a Notre Dame or a Miami or a Vanderbilt or a Texas, get out of here.
Yep, well said. If you want to do that, Duke's 25-1, UNLV 30-1 if the committee would lose their minds. How about the SEC title game? Georgia 2.5, 48.5.
I know Alabama's beaten Georgia 10 out of the last 11 meetings. They definitely have their number. Kirby can't beat Alabama, but the last 2 games, DeBoer and Smart have been coin flips. I like the fact that Georgia won the line of scrimmage in the earlier matchups, just didn't get the job done in the second half at the goal line when they went for it on 4th down. I like Georgia here. Familiarity, just played in the same stadium last week, although they played horrifically on offense. I like Georgia here. I bet them.
Okay. And the MAC game? Western Michigan 2.5 against Miami, 43.5.
I didn't do too much here. I would, let's go derivative. I'm going to go Miami team total over 20.5 since they moved to that Gutowski kid at quarterback. They've had their 2 best offensive performances, so I'll go team total over 20.5.
All right, no problem. You teased it earlier. You think Tech wrecks BYU again?
Yeah, I think they win comfortably. I'll go, instead of spread, again, team total, I'll go over 30.5 Tech there. I know they only scored 29 against BYU in the earlier matchup, but they settled for 5 field goals, had no problem moving the football. And keep in mind, Morton was still far less than 100% that game.
Yes.
So I like Tech's offense there.
Yes.
Can they win the whole thing?
Good question. No, I don't think they're capable of beating Ohio State. I don't know if anybody is, if Ohio State plays clean, but they're certainly capable of winning a playoff game or 2.
It has not gone well for UNLV against Boise or on the Smurf turf. Madsen's back. FanDuel and DraftKings open the Rebels the favorite. Boise now 4.5 with the quarterback news. They pounded them about a month ago. 57.5 the total.
Actually, 5.5 now at Circa.
Oh, wow.
We're heading to 6 on this one. You know what ticket I have on that. I was stunned at that. I have a lot riding on Boise because I did bet them to win the conference. They were 4-1 to win the conference last week, not in the summer, last week. That was horrible mispricing on that. And here they are, the favorite by closer to touchdown. I certainly lean Boise getting the quarterback back.
Boy, that's a great point. But also it was most of the talk, Brad, was Boise wouldn't win these tiebreakers with this stupid computer stuff. Did you?
I totally disagreed with that. Boise still the computers don't account for a quarterback injury. So I mean, they're still, some of those computers still have some the previous stuff priced in a little bit. So yeah, they would. I had Boise. I still have Boise number 1 in the Mountain West.
By the way, it's 2025. What are we doing with computer rankings? What are we doing in the ACC? I know we talked about that already. Come on, it's college football here.
Well, we just talked about computer ratings in the Mountain West. They need them, obviously, in the ACC. I don't know. I mean, Miami would be 16, 17-point favorite over Duke. How are they not in? It's just ridiculous.
Oh, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. What do you like in this North Texas Tulane matchup?
I leaned under. I mean, distractions for both. They both took different jobs. I know they're both coaching this game, but come on, signing day was yesterday. I mean, I don't think you had your full attention. This is a playoff game, the most important game in both teams' school history, because the winner's in. So I bet a little under. What could be some weather too.
Not bad. Incredible story here. Kennesaw State, a huge price to win Conference USA. So was Jacksonville State, not as big though. This is a rematch. Jacksonville State beat them 35-26 earlier. Kennesaw lane 2.5, 60 the total.
Yeah, I think Kennesaw's the right side here. I know they lost the game outright earlier, but they moved the football, had like 580 yards. They had 5 turnovers, though. So I also agree with the position of the over. So let's combine the two, Kennesaw and over, team total Kennesaw over 30.5.
James Madison ran it up last week. They're 23.5 against Troy.
Yeah, they did run it up, and maybe they go for style points because there's still an outside shot if Duke wins that they obviously get that playoff berth. But it's a little pricey for me, so I'm again going to go derivative. Let's go Troy team total over 10.5. They've topped that 9 of their 12 games. They finally got the quarterback situation a little healthier. And James Madison, great defense, but they're still giving up 16 points per game.
What's going to happen at Penn State?
Long term, I think maybe possibly if you're an old head like me, Frank Solich, Nebraska situation, meaning that they'll never get the program back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Could be that bad. Oh boy!
I think. Yeah.
What happened?
They were the first.
They were the first school to fire their coach. They whiffed on everyone.
There's rumors that Sexton was the agent for Franklin, and he's not allowing any of his clients to properly interview.
That's fun.
Oh, great.
That's good.
What a mess.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what he said there. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow Brad on X again. He's at BradPower7. Website is BradPowersports.com. Love talking to you, Brad. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Great job. That's fun.
And he was on the progressive guest line.
All right.
Good. I like the angles of the team totals, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Think you know sports get paid for it. Better Picks, daily fantasy app that turns sports knowledge into real cash. Download Better. Pick more or less on your favorite player stats. If your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required. When you do deposit, you get a 50% match up to $200 across all sports. Bettor.app or download Better today. Promo code VSiN for your free money. Go to bettor.app, B-E-T-R, bettor.app.
There is a serious Malinsky special tonight in the NHL, and it involves the Rangers on the road against Ottawa. Ottawa is back from a long 7-game road trip.
Calgary 5 games, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. The Rangers opened up at higher than plus 130 last night. They're down to plus 110, 115 in the game now.
Well, Ottawa's playing a backup goalie, though, too.
Yeah. So that's not the only reason why they were betting the Rangers, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're right. This is a big-time Malinsky special.
Yep. And we got an email here from Chris McCarthy, ftm@vsin.com. He's been tracking this Malinsky special thing. First game back on a long road trip throughout the entire year. And per his model that he uses, it's 10-2, and this one qualifies for it tonight. And usually you're going to get a team on the road here. Or you're going to get a team on the road every single time, and you're probably going to get at least some decent plus money, more cases than not.
It's a big boy. It's a 14, 15-day road trip, 7 games, and Calgary was on a 5-game road trip. Mm-hmm. And Minnesota's only $1.20. That seems low, too.
Yeah, they took some money as well. Huge Thursday night game on tap. Loser leaves town. Cowboys, Lions, Pickens, and Lamb, since CD came back from the injury, have been awesome. Plenty of reasons to expect it to continue tonight.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
A lot to get into with tonight's Thursday night tilt. Lions at home against the Cowboys. We'll get into first touchdown scores coming up in about 15 minutes. Money on the Lions today. Man, oh man. I'm all in on Dallas. So I bet them plus 3.5 last week. I bet them on the money line. And then it came down to 3. The money line went down. I'm like, okay, that's a good feeling. And then today, probably about, give or take 3 hours ago, all of a sudden the market's like, no, too short. We're betting the lines in this game. I didn't get scared off. I added more. So like Nigel Seeley told us many years ago, our buddy from London, don't be a moron, put more on it. So now I have the money line as high as plus 155, and I have more plus 3.5 in the Cowboys, and I can't wait for the Lions to blow them out tonight and for the Cowboys to never be in the game. But it's so big for both these teams. The loser, forget about it. They're pretty much cooked at that point.
I totally agree. And even if Detroit wins, then you have to go to Los Angeles. You close at Minnesota, at Chicago. I don't know if 10-7 is going to get it done. I think they would lose tiebreakers because of conference record to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And the Niners probably are going to win 11 anyways, right?
Yep.
Then you're probably comparing yourself to the Bears, and that would have to be a total free fall.
Yep. You can always check out the betting splits at vsin.com when you become a subscriber, vsin.com/subscribe. And we have Circa. We have DraftKings up there on the screen right now for the radio audience. 63% of the bets on Dallas at this point but only 42% of the handle. So that tells you that here they take a lot of sharp money, and that money has, in fact, been on the Lions. At DK, 56% of the bets on Dallas, and the handle's pretty much the same, almost 50-50 over there.
Huge for the win total as well. Enormous for under 10.5 tonight. Detroit standpoint.
Yeah. Well, actually, if the Cowboys lose this game, they're probably going to have an uphill battle to go over then as well. Will they not?
Yeah.
Because I knew our buddy Lou Finicaro was on the Cowboys before the season started to the under. But so I'm curious, like, why? And Paul Charchin an hour ago had his typical exquisite breakdown on some player props in this game. And he's going back to the well with George Pickens tonight. It's because Pickens is going to be guarded against Amik Robertson for the Lions. And you can always go listen to the Follow the Money podcast wherever you get them. But it was Watson last week who had a big game and went over his longest catch. Pickens is going to be on the outside tonight. Robertson's going to guard him. But if you go back, like recent form, which team has been able to slow down this duo at wide receiver? KC couldn't. Pickens had 6 for 88. Lamb had 7 for $112 and a touchdown. Philly couldn't. Pickens all day long, 9 for $146 and a touchdown. Lamb had 75 yards. The Raiders, come on, that's Mickey Mouse operation we're talking about. But if you go all the way back since Lamb came back from the injury, these two players have like either been in the 150 to 200 yard range. They've combined for, 10, 11, 13, 15 catches. And sometimes, most times they're going to get a touchdown or two combined overall. I don't think that's going to change here tonight because Prescott's been on a heater the entire year.
I can't believe he didn't take it out and just say, here I am, let's go to war. And we got a total of 55.5, and I'm going to get creative, and this could be bombs away. I mean, there's just so much stuff you can do with this game and the props. Is there any way this is 20-17? There'd have to be long drives and turnovers or something. I can't see it.
And then you have to have guys like Aubrey missing field goals. Paul, come on, where's your head at?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's all about getting creative tonight. And so many guys that could be anytime touchdowns. Who's going to score for Detroit with the tight end angle? You don't have St. Brown, who's likely out. Is it a Kennedy game? What can Tesla do? But some of the stuff here, and again, it doesn't seem hard, but even 10 yards a quarter and 5 yards a quarter with the wide receivers and the running backs. I mean, these are big tickets and can add up, not to mention if they're, I really think it's reminiscent of the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game we watched, but could even be more explosive on that Thursday night because there's so much talent. There's so many guys that can score. Detroit can move the ball through the air, but they can't protect Goff. And certainly Dallas should cook as well. And if there was ever a game where the field goal touchdown, both teams each half comes in, it's this one with 10-1 as well. So I just think with the sky-high total, this has all the makings. We're also going to be reminiscent of that Tampa-Atlanta game we had last year on a Thursday night. That's just crazy. Someone might throw for 400 yards, too.
So here's a question, because the Cowboys' defense, specifically against the ground game, they've been so good now. Last couple of weeks, in fact, going back a little bit more than that. Quentin Williams obviously has been a major factor since the trade deadline. What if the combo here of Gibbs and Montgomery are unable to run the ball?
I don't think they will be. Yep. I don't think they can get it going. I think they're going to have problems protecting him. That also should mean more dump-offs to the running backs. I would look Gibbs and Montgomery yards and receptions over. I just don't think it's going to be there on the ground. Dallas has been so good with the changes and trades against the run. And then do they give him time? Can he do damage down the field as well? And that's Williams to me is too obvious, but still, if it's no St. Brown and he's likely back next week, that could be a big game for him like it was against Green Bay.
See, I'm kind of in that same boat with you. Like, I think it's going to be a struggle tonight, and maybe we're dead wrong on this, and because Gibbs is so good, maybe he goes hog wild and has another huge game in a primetime spot. But if that doesn't happen, are we to expect Jared Goff here to keep up with Dak Prescott, assuming that the Cowboys offense, because all year long they have been just insanely good, and Prescott is now like the third shot to win the MVP?
Well, that's why I can't put you off Dallas. And even the move,
and there's no,
because I can't get the Giants game out of my head, and the Minnesota game has not aged well at all. You got beat at home by McCarthy. Come on.
No, and by the way, I didn't think that they were close to being good last week against Green Bay.
Yeah.
So, like, it hasn't been exactly hot here for the Lions since their bye week, going back to the last 5 games.
Is he still going to stick his chest out and still be aggressive on? I mean, they're
of
over.
Course. Well,
they're over their last 7 though on fourth down.
He'll do that for sure.
That's another thing about that also plays into and some props, and also with the score and the high total. I mean, at some point you got to kick field goals, Dan.
Well, but look, there's also, I mean, I get it. The secondary for the Cowboys, it's not exactly, it's bad, in fact, but with no Amon-Ra St. Brown, and maybe it's because I'm the president of the fan club for St. Brown. I absolutely love the guy, but you take him off this team, and it's going to be Jamison Williams and Tesla and there's no Laporta and like backup tight ends. They're going to beat you. And like you've been kind of mocking it all. What is it going to be, a Kennedy game for the Lions all of a sudden?
Yes.
And you have to go to war, and you're going to have to match the Cowboys with this total now of 55.5 touchdown for touchdown. Because I think there is a spot here. Like you said, the major bets, the same game parlays are probably going to cash at least from one side tonight.
Well, Schottenheimer's done a nice job.
Yeah.
He's 5-1 as a dog. They're playing with a ton of emotion. He's doing an excellent job turning this around. And also how good the offense has been. And I like your point earlier in the week. That was 47-9 last year.
Yep.
That was the worst home loss under Jerry Jones since he bought the team. That was pathetic and disgusting, vile and nasty. So I think they're ready to go, and not to mention if they win, and I think they will, it's Minnesota and the Chargers at home, and it's at Washington and at New York. Definitely doable. Peekaboo, Carter's out Monday night for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Things could really get interesting here. And again, you are correct. The loser is out. It's just the Detroit's like 20-some% if they lose, and the Cowboys are like 6% if they lose. So it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, here are the numbers that I have on the Lions since the bye week, which came in week 8. So the last 5 games on the field, they've allowed 116 rushing yards per game, 10th highest in the league. 0.1 EPA per play, tied for second most. 0.2 passing EPA per play, tied for second most. A 17.3% explosive pass percentage, highest in the league allowed, and the 8th highest success rate overall on defense. Those are Raiders numbers. Those are numbers you would expect to see from the Titans or the Saints this year. No, that's the Detroit Lions defense we're talking about. Last 5 games, and now they get Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and a bunch of other guys who are players. I don't know. This is all setting up for me to look completely foolish tonight with the Lions winning by like 3 touchdowns.
No.
No, it's any given Sunday, or in this case Thursday, and anything can happen. I think they're not that good right now.
Dallas longest made field goals $1.15. I think you have to take some of that. And again, I'm not going to put you on the under because this is only the 5th time since 1970. Both teams are averaging 375 yards and 29 points per game. And you got Dallas, who's number 1 in yards and number 2 in points, and Detroit's number 3 and number 3, respectively. Still, you're down a ton of guys, but that also makes your case stronger for Dallas at how many guys are out for Detroit. Defense, offensive line, tight end, St. Brown. That's the way to go, and it keeps going up, though. I mean, the 3.5 now.
I know. I'm puzzled by it.
I think it's wrong.
No, I'm looking for it. Clowney is he?
He's out.
It's officially out.
He's out. Yep, not good. For those of you who haven't joined VSiN Pro yet, we've extended our Black Friday special for 1 week. $60. Everything we do through May 1st. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, DraftKings, Circa, and Bracco, the AI prop tools everyone's been talking about. They're phenomenal. They like Goff rushing yards over and Dak under tonight. 24/7 video access on the Watch app. Read the Guru with all his props as well. Everything. You get lost in all the content that's up there and all of our betting guides. It ends Sunday. Don't miss out. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We will discuss first touchdown score possibilities coming up next and teaser options for Week 14 here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great write-ups every week for the NFL. Well, so much content. The website's never been better, vsin.com. But Adam Burke does a great job of tracking all these first touchdown scores, and then also giving you a couple of angles to look at for the upcoming week. I'll give you this for the game tonight. Detroit has scored the game's first touchdown 7 out of 11 games. Dallas, 5 out of 11. Gibbs has scored the Lions' first touchdown 4 times and the first touchdown of the game 3 times. Others for Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown twice. Don't think he's going to play. Laporta twice. He's out. Williams twice. Tesla once. Montgomery once. Javonte Williams has scored the first touchdown for Dallas 3 times and the first touchdown of the game twice. Others to hit pay dirt for Dallas. First, Pickens twice, Lamb twice, and then a combination of Turpin, Prescott, Ferguson, Luke K, and defensive/special teams. Now, I've been betting first touchdown scores for a good 4 or 5 years, and I love making the case for some of these shots that are 10, 15, 18, 25, 50 to 1 to score.
Okay.
And it really, really sucks when you attack the board like that.
Yeah.
And then Gibbs gets in tonight and he's like 4 to 1.
I know. That's the risk you run, but it could happen tonight. Lipke scored, and I can't believe he did it. He was 100 to 1.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he's out there at 100 to 1. Brevin Spann-Ford's 100 to 1. You got all these different tight ends that could get in there. Tom Kennedy. I know these names. I love it. Then you
Tom Kennedy, keep going back.
Yeah, I know. Tom Kennedy. Ozzie likes Flanoy. He thinks he could get in there. He's 50 to 1. Turpin. But then I don't mind Turpin. I go back. Totally random. Before the show, I go down and I grab the sheet down here at Circa, and I come up and I look, and if for whatever reason it was marked Ferguson. There's an X next to it. 15 to 1. First touchdown.
I meant
to be.
I meant to tell you that I'm the one who marked it,
and you
knowing that you were coming up there next.
You saw me. All right. You saw me before I got my soda, you bastard.
All right.
Okay, excellent. But this is so good because with these offenses, this total playoff game, 2 very aggressive coaches. Anything goes tonight. A touchdown in each quarter, $1.40. Come on. Both teams have a rushing touchdown, $1.25. A 2-point attempt, plus 115. I've never seen it that low. Rushing touchdown, passing touchdown, each team, plus 120. Someone scores 40 points, 3 to 1. Each team to score in all 4 quarters, 4 to 1. Field goal each quarter, 6 to 1.
Can each team score in all 4 quarters?
Yes.
That's where the bet at 4 to 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I like this better. A touchdown field goal, each team in each half, 10 to 1.
Touchdown field goal.
Or are you worried about Campbell there?
Well, I'm worried about this game turning into a shootout, and a guy like Campbell says, we can't afford to kick field goals here. We got to score touchdowns.
But you're not
tonight.
out of it. I mean, if Dallas is down 17-0, they're not out. It's fine. I mean, they're not out of it. They're still just going to throw, and you can still make a kid. Look at the Philadelphia game. Each team to have a rushing and passing touchdown, I might like this better then. Because you can scare me with the Campbell stuff. I'm not going to try it unless it's like 4th and 10 and I'm right. Kick the field goal. Each team rushing and passing touchdown in each half is 50 to 1. Doable. Anything goes tonight.
Well, okay. I mean, if you get, here's the deal. When you have a game like this with a total now that keeps creeping up to 55 and a half, my brain goes back to that game in Mexico City a couple years ago, Chiefs and the Rams. Super high total. And you're like, come on, really? You bet over in play, I believe, 101 and a half.
It was supposed to be.
And you won.
They played it in L.A., right?
Was that the game that was supposed to be Mexico and then moved to L.A.?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I bet over 102 and a half in play.
Yeah, and it won.
Something.
It was, and that game had like 3 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, right.
Like,
that was unexpected.
Like every imaginable person scored that night.
Okay, good. I'm glad you brought that angle up. Lamb, Pickens, Gibbs combined for 5 touchdowns, 12 to 1.
I would need a higher number.
Lamb, Pickens, Williams combined for 5 touchdowns, 25 to 1. Lamb, Gibbs, Williams combined for 5 touchdowns, 11 to 1. But then again, you look at the price and it's nothing for Gibbs to have 2. Gibbs is plus 195 to have 2.
Yeah, come on. Who's betting that?
But that's,
Again, I think the people who are betting that would throw them into a same game parlay because they just want all this to come in and the game to be 41-38. And then something like that would cash along with, 10 to 1 on a guy to score first touchdown and whatever else.
I know, but your other thing that plays into it, specifically with the Williams, the Tom Kennedy, the Tesla, the Goff, I don't think they can run the ball against Dallas.
Maybe not.
And then I don't think they can protect them.
I don't think so either.
Which means dump offs to the running backs, which also means school could be out early and I could flip it. It could be 17-0 Dallas. And then they're playing catch-up, and this guy's throwing 50 times.
Right.
And then he has 400 yards because they're playing catch-up the whole time.
All right, Ryan Kramer got off to an amazing start this year here on the network and the Sports Gambling Podcast with his first touchdown scores. Come on, Ryan. It's a little dry right now. I know you hit Wicks last week, but we need another one. Here you go. We'll look at Kramer's bets tonight.
Kramer!
He doesn't go chalk. Hit me with him, Pauly.
He's going all Lions, and I love the tight end angle.
He doesn't have a single Cowboy on the betting board?
He's taking it to a different angle. He went, my guy, Hayden Rucci, who they just picked up from Miami. I bet him at 20-1 anytime. He's up to 25 at DraftKings. He also has Ferkshire, Dwelly, and Tesla. Tesla's 14. Ferkshire is a big number.
Dwelly was, I think, 35 when you bet him.
Yeah.
He's down to 23 here at Circa.
Dwelly's 28 here. Ferkshire was 75 here. Rucci 100-1. And then he mixed in a little Tesla as well at 14, 15-1.
So when I first started betting this again a handful of years ago, I think it was the pandemic season, I would like to bet one player on each team. That's it. Because you don't know who's going to get the ball. There could be, whatever.
Well, also it's hilarious.
I have something to root for, and both teams are. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's also hilarious that he loves to play defensive special touchdown team, and it happened Monday. He didn't have it.
That's right. And he likes to play, as you're seeing tonight now, the second to third string tight ends.
Yeah.
The deeper the cut, the better for Ryan Kramer. But now, again, this is another approach here, right? Only going to bat here with four guys from the same team and completely ignoring the Cowboys. Lions want to get the ball. If they do, drive right down the field. And now, if that's the case, you got four different options here that could get into the end zone, and you just hope to God it's not Montgomery or Gibbs.
These are bangers. These anytime touchdowns are bangers. That's the other thing,
That's
too.
great. It's a really fun market
Right?
to bet into.
Well, look at these. Because you still, I think, there's two things here. You go back to the Saturday night game when Campbell lost his mind, and rightfully so, that crew blew the call with the offensive lineman. So the creativity and then throwing to the tight end and how creative they got in the 47-9 blowout last year. That's why you can look at Arucci or some of these other guys with Laporta and Brock Wright.
Well, how about you look at an offensive lineman again tonight?
That's possible too.
But
Dallas has shown Brevin Spanford, the pride of St. Cloud, Minnesota, scored against the Eagles. Lipke scored against Carolina. Schoonmaker has done it before. I mentioned Ferguson at 15-1. First touchdown. You threw out Malik Davis too. Ozzie likes Flournoy. I mean, this could be crazy. I'm not going to, if the couple of those guys score, I'm not going to be surprised because this could be 38-31.
How about Dallas flips Detroit on their head this week, tonight, as revenge for last year, and they're the ones who throw it to an offensive lineman. Fat man touchdown, as it's labeled at some sports books.
I think that's possible with Schottenheimer. They love him. You see how you think about that? He's put some time into that, and they get back in the revenge. Sure.
Look, they could steal it from Tampa, who did it last week.
That's right.
It was a beautiful play design.
It was.
Got it into the end zone. Now, again, finding individual offensive linemen to score first is impossible. You're not going to get that, but that would be Field or else, again, the fat man touchdown.
Right. Here's what does Williams do? Do you think they run him a lot with his props? Because it also, maybe they just come out, throw, and that's why I also bet both quarterbacks to have 25 completions plus 450.
I think that all depends on how Detroit is slowing down the run.
Pass rush has been non-existent.
I know it. So, and by the way, that ties into the Cowboys that I talked about earlier. Dak's only taken 2 sacks in the last 3 games, and they've only punted 6 times.
Yeah. Think sports get paid for it. Better Picks daily fantasy app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download the Bettor app, pick more or less on your favorite player's stats, and when your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required. When you do deposit, a 50% deposit match up to $200. Get started today. It's easy. Head to bettor.app, BETR, or download Bettor in the app or Google Play Store. Promo code VEASAN. Get your money and your deposit bonus now. Promo code VEASAN, bettor.app.
Survivor next. Former winner Mike Buckmiller is still alive in Circa. and the creator of Survivor Sweat, James Sullivan, in studio next.